and gentlemen, are you a fan of the Thundercats? Well, there was an exclusive from San Diego Comic-Con for Wily Kit and Wily Cat. The packaging is insanely cool. I'm really impressed with how it looks. It is very much playing up to the 1980s series rather than the 2000 series that came out. We have a small bio in the back of this packaging as well, just kind of going through who Wily Kit and Wily Cat are. But at this point, chances are you probably already know who the twins are.
Oh my god, we have 2 hoverboard stands included.
The black outer casing is nice, nothing too special. It was nice to have a protection of the actual casing inside. On the side of the packaging, we have Wily Cat on one side and Wily Kit on the other side. Well, that's about enough for the packaging. Let's go ahead and open these guys up. And here are the Thunder Kittens. If you open up the packaging carefully, you'll have a nice little display of Cat's lair in the background. I think that was actually a pretty cool idea for them to do. Upon closer inspection, if you look at them, their eyes are very anime-ish eyes. In fact, both of them have huge anime eyes. Although I guess I should be lucky. Some people have complained that the paint apps were really off, and it was almost as if like their eyes were on the side of their face. Besides the figures and their hoverboards and the stands they come with, they also come with interchangeable hands. That seems to be a staple now for any toy figure for collectors. They always want to have a bunch of different hands in different poses. They also both come with their own different whips. They have whips that you can put on the side of their belt, but this is if you want to have them holding the whips in one of their interchangeable hands. One of Wily Cat's hands already has one of his smoke bombs in his hand. To take it out, you just simply pop it out and you put in one of his other hands that don't have anything in it at all. And it goes in fairly simple. Let's look at that smoke bomb. The sculpting on this is pretty darn cool. It also looks like he's got several of the smoke bombs in his hand. And even though the coloring is off with the rest of her gauntlet here, you can see that you could put this hand into Wily Kit's instead. Before we look at the figures, let's look at their hoverboards. I always thought they were so cool in the cartoon. I'm really glad that we did get the stands for these. They're essentially identical to each other with a difference of color scheme on the outer part. We have the nice little Thundercat symbol right here. And if you choose not even to have it on the stand, you don't have to. You can have it separate here. But if you're like me, chances are you're probably going to keep them on this pretty much all the time. It is also nice that you can put this in different positions as well. But let's look at the individual figures. Let's start with Kit. I do like how she looks despite her huge eyes. I actually think that looks really cool. Like I said, she has a whip rope thing you can have on the back, which I'm probably going to have her hold both the whip on her belt and also keep the loose one in her hand as well. You can see here she's got her own utility belt, although Cat has actual pouches. Hers just looks like she has the capsules on the side, and that's it. They both wear skirt dress things, although Kit's only drapes over one of her shoulders. And when you look at her boots, her toes are also exposed. She's also wearing one of those arm bracelet things. This is actually sculpted on there, it's not painted. They both pretty much have the same exact articulation, but let's go ahead and go through it. First, you can move her head, you can move her body by the waist, upper shoulder movement, elbow movement, wrist movement, upper leg movement, knee movement, and ankle movement. All in all, she is a pretty cool figure, and I am happy with the way that she looks. I know some fans aren't quite so happy with the idea of her having such a big head, but I think it looks pretty good on her. To get her onto the hoverboard, it's not quite so easy. They made the hole slightly too small, but I think that's a good thing. That way they actually stay on there and you don't have to worry about them falling off. Not too much, at least. Overall, really cool figure. I'm liking her a lot. Now let's look at Cat. I always thought he had like an older looking face because he had the gray in his hair around his face. And as opposed to Kit, who has one solid stripe on her head, he has 2 stripes instead. He is also wearing just a long skirt with the utility belt going around his waist, and you can see the sculpted pouches on the side. He's also wearing boots that cover up his toes as opposed to what Kit has. He also has some bracers on as opposed to Kit. The grappling hook / rope on the back, they don't stay on too firmly. In fact, I'm probably going to end up gluing that in there just so I don't lose it. His clothing is sculpted on, and you can feel it on the side. And overall, I think his paint scheme is really well done. I've seen online where some people have gotten really horrendous looking figures, so I probably lucked out with both of these guys. Putting him on the hoverboard, you can see he also, it's not quite so easy getting it on there, but once it's on, he's in pretty good shape. And you can pose them and put them in different ways. So that's it with these figures. I wish I had more Thundercats to show as comparison, but currently there haven't been any that have been released, at least not in the Classics toy line. There have been some other Thundercats here and there that have been released between the original series in the 1980s and currently. Here's one last shot in front of Cat's lair. It's unfortunate that this toy line has not been picked up past the subscription that's set to be coming out from Matty Collector this year. Super 7 has been rumored that they may end up taking it up and maybe they can finish the toy line, but it has not been confirmed as of yet, but I am very hopeful about that. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me in this toy review. Be sure to check me out on my Patreon site, my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Rewatching the series, did anyone else notice that Kit was so much more at ease on the hoverboard as opposed to Cat? I always thought that was kind of weird. It just seems as though she was the natural while he had all these bumbling tendencies to him.